There's a hidden force inside you. It's not something abstract or far off. It's real, like a storm trapped beneath your skin, quietly pulsing, waiting for the right moment to be unleashed. It's the kind of force that breaks down walls, that turns obstacles into opportunities. A raw, primal energy that awakens when you decide there's no more room for excuses, no more space for mediocrity. It's there, buried under layers of routine, doubts, and fear. But like magma accumulating for centuries deep within the earth, it never stops burning. It grows with every challenge you face, with every decision you delay. And there comes a moment when this force needs to be channeled, or it simply erupts, overflowing into aimless actions, wasted energy. Now imagine what happens when you master it. When you consciously open the door to this storm and decide to channel it, transforming it into motion. This is the power that separates those who merely survive from those who live intensely. Because once this force is unleashed, what once seemed impossible now becomes inevitable. But this power, this inner strength, doesn't reveal itself for no reason. It doesn't manifest by whim. To access it, to use it fully, requires something more. Something that doesn't come easily, but that transforms lives. Discipline. It's discipline that molds this force, that gives it direction and purpose. Without it, energy dissipates, like a river that spreads out into a desert and vanishes. With it, this force becomes unstoppable, a powerful river that destroys any barrier in its path. The real question is, are you willing to tap into this force? Discipline is the key. Without it, the potential remains dormant, a latent force that will never see the light of day. But once you awaken it and channel it, there's no turning back. The impossible starts to seem small, and suddenly, the world expands. The energy that sustains your life isn't visible, but it's in every move you make, in every thought you have. It's like the wind. You can't see it, but you can feel its strength. It moves every cell in your body, every electrical impulse in your mind. And when it's cared for and nourished, it becomes an endless source of power. This vital energy is what connects the physical to the mental, what makes the body obey the mind, and the mind align with the spirit. When it flows freely, life becomes a harmonious dance, a continuous flow where every gesture seems natural and full of purpose. But when this energy is neglected, everything starts to crumble. The body tires, the mind becomes clouded, and the spirit feels lost. This vital flow needs to be cultivated like a garden. And what nourishes it? Discipline. Discipline to feed the body with movement, to challenge the mind with new knowledge, to calm the spirit with moments of silence and reflection. Without discipline, energy dissipates, chaos takes over, and life loses its way. But when this energy is carefully tended to, it becomes an unstoppable force. Imagine your body as a temple. Every action you take is a brick laid in this temple. Every thought is a stone supporting this structure. And when you care for this temple with reverence, it becomes indestructible. The energy that flows through you builds an internal fortress, a perfect balance between body, mind, and spirit. This vital energy generates real power, the clarity needed to make decisions, the strength to persist, and the wisdom to retreat when necessary. However, it's easy to let this energy get lost in distractions, in small pleasures that weaken the body and dull the mind. But those who understand the importance of protecting it know that prosperity, true prosperity, comes from within. It's not in the things you achieve, but in the strength you build daily. And this strength begins with discipline. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not about great deeds or moments of inspiration. Discipline is what happens in the silence, away from the spotlight, in the stillness of dawn or the solitude of the end of the day. It is built in the small choices, in the daily repetition of actions that, in isolation, seem insignificant, but over time, form the foundation of an unshakable life. Imagine routine as a sculptor who patiently carves a masterpiece. Each strike on the marble, no matter how small, is necessary. And over time, what was once just a rough stone begins to take shape. That's how discipline works. It is the force that shapes your character, sharpens your skills, and strengthens your determination. It's not something that happens all at once. It's the result of daily practice, the constant commitment to growth. A disciplined routine is like the rhythmic beating of a hammer. Each repeated action, Each small effort is a step forward, a rung up toward a stronger and more focused version of yourself. There are no shortcuts here. There are no immediate glories. But over time, the sum of these small acts creates a solid foundation that no challenge can shake. Discipline gives you something that few can achieve: control. Not control over what happens around you, but over how you respond. When you're disciplined, you no longer depend on fleeting motivations or the desire for instant gratification. Routine becomes your strength, a pillar that supports your growth. And eventually, what was hard becomes natural. What once seemed impossible becomes routine. But strength is not just about movement. It's also found in stillness. Rest is not the opposite of discipline. It is part of it. Just as the bow must be loosened to shoot the arrow with force, the body and mind need rest to reach their full potential. Rest is where growth truly happens. In the silence of sleep, the body repairs itself. In moments of pause, the mind reorganizes ideas, and the spirit reconnects with its purpose. It is in rest that the strength accumulated through disciplined work solidifies. Without rest, the body breaks down, the mind becomes confused, and vital energy is depleted. Many think resting is wasting time, but the wise know that rest is strategic. It is not a luxury, but a necessity for the cycle of discipline to continue. If you push your body and mind beyond their limits without giving them time to regenerate, you are destroying the very temple you are trying to build. A true warrior does not fear rest. He embraces it, knowing that the pause is part of the strengthening process. In rest, you are not stopping. You are preparing. You are giving the body and mind the space they need to renew, to come back stronger, sharper, more determined. It is in rest that balance is restored, and it is this balance that sustains strength over long periods of time. Life flows with purpose when you honor the cycles of effort and recovery. When the body, mind, and spirit are aligned, every action feels natural. Every step is part of a greater rhythm. And this harmony is only achieved through discipline, not a rigid, oppressive discipline, but one that frees, that brings clarity and purpose to each day. Discipline is the engine that keeps vital energy flowing. Without it, chaos takes over. But with it, life takes shape. The impossible becomes a matter of time, and balance transforms into prosperity. Those who master discipline know it is the path to true freedom, to a life where body, mind, and spirit are in perfect harmony. And if you still doubt the power of discipline and the profound changes it can bring, look at the living examples around you. The real stories of discipline and abundance that we shared in the last video on the channel are living proof that this path leads to prosperity. They are evidence that by following discipline, you not only transform your life, you transform your world. Remember, the power was always inside you. But now with discipline, it's ready to be unleashed. The impossible? It's only impossible until you decide it's not.